Hey everybody, Spaceman Spiff here with another episode of Spaceman Climbs. And for this game, I have a human versus, not a human, I'm sorry, an undead versus orc game against Iron King Kong, who is ranked second in Azeroth. He has a very strong record. He plays orc every game. This game is a little bit older. I've had this one saved and in the queue for a little while, but now, at least going into games against Iron King Kong now, I know that every single game he's going Blade Master first, he's opening grunts, he's going to creep one easy creep camp, and then he's going to come on the offensive, and he's going to be offensive with his Blade Master the whole game while he plays a completely standard Shadow Hunter, Raider, Spirit Walker follow-up. That's what this guy does every game. There's a reason he does it. It's the go-to strategy. It's a very strong strategy, but if you know you're going to be against it, it makes it a little easier to play against. Either way, that said, I don't think I knew that much about him at the time of playing this game. Let's just pretend none of us saw that. That was not actually a thing, and my ziggurat was built completely normally. Meanwhile, up here, I've got my crypt, I've got my graveyard, and it looks like I'm going to be going for a pretty standard Crypt Fiend build opening, which is, if you guys have watched any of my other games that I play Undead, one of my most standard openings, even though I'm probably going to be going Dreadlord Ghoul. Most of the time I go Dreadlord Ghouls, and that is what's going to happen here as well. So, I'm going to speed it up. No, you know what, we'll watch from his perspective, see what he's doing. Excuse me, there we go. Standard build. His Blade Master is halfway out. I think he might creep this or creep something here, but he's going to come to harass me very quickly. Alright, now I'm going to speed it up just a little bit until my hero comes out, because that makes the game a whole lot more interesting. I've now been scouted. I have some more ghouls on the way. There's the Dreadlord. Pretty standard stuff coming from me. By the way, guys, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, or Happy Holidays, depending on where you fall on that one. But either way, Happy New Year. I hope everyone had a great couple weeks. I hope everyone's been enjoying 2018 so far. I hope nothing too unfortunate has happened. It's going to be a good year. I can feel it. I'm optimistic. My resolution was to learn to code, which is a kind of strange resolution, but I think it would be a good one. I've already started. I have the very, very basic outline for a front page for my website, and I'm happy with that, but I've got a long way to go. Either way, back to the game. My Dreadlord is out. I have now purchased a Rod of Necromancy. I have 5 ghouls. I think I'll be moving out with 5 ghouls. This one will go to wood. And I'm going to be fast expanding, which is why I have this extra Acolyte here. So this is actually a pretty easy camp to creep with the Dreadlord. You'll be able to do it pretty efficiently and get level 2, a really good item, and hopefully be able to expand as well. So that's what I was hoping for here. Keep in mind, though, what I was saying just a little bit earlier, where Iron King Kong creeps and then comes to harass every single game. And look at that. His Blade Master is here. He's level 2, so he crept that and this, just like I expected. His grunts are up here creeping, but he's going to be harassing with this Blade Master very shortly. Nevertheless, I'm able to kill one. I sleep the Renegade Wizard. I think that might be a mistake here. I think sometimes it might be better to sleep one of the level 5 Enforcers instead and try to just surround and kill the Wizard, just because he's so much more squishy than the Enforcers. But by sleeping him first, I was able to prevent him from casting any lightning shields, anything like that. He still managed to get a ghoul kill, which he never should have, but you win some, you lose some. And where's this Blade Master? I think he looped around here, bought boots, and now has realized I'm creeping here. So that's one of the benefits, I guess, of creeping such a difficult camp early. Does he get the item? Oh, thank God he did not get the item. Scourge of Bone Chimes would have been awful if the Orc army had picked that up. Either way, I'm starting my expansion now. The gold mine goes down, the necropolis goes down, and he shows up with 3 grunts and a Blade Master, and I'm pretty sure I'm immediately going to bail on this expansion attempt. This is going to be really hard to secure. So yeah, immediately I just cancel the expansion. I'm retreating. This ghoul is definitely going to die. And now I'm playing on the back foot. So I've already started my tech. I'm confident enough that he won't be able to cause any damage to my Acolytes, because he doesn't have much mana. And it's early enough. I can build not a necropolis, a Nerubian tower. I can keep my hero and units in base. He's not going to be able to harass my economy just yet. It looks like I actually have a pretty good wall off. Is this a wall? I might have actually built a decent base for once in my life as well, which is really nice. Either way, I'm regrouping now. I know that he's probably creeping out my camps, and I don't want him to have the freedom to do that. So I'm taking all of my wood ghouls. I'm using another Rod of Necromancy, so I have lots of skeletons coming with me, and I'm going to try and get a creepjack. I come up here, and there's nothing going on, so that's good. I don't know if I decide to creep this right away. I do. This seems greedy to me. Yeah, I probably should have scouted out a little more. This is a tough camp to go for. So he creepjacked me there, but luckily isn't able to do a whole lot of damage either. He came maybe a little bit too early even. So instead I decided I'll pull back, let him engage the creeps, and then I'm going to try and creepjack him. And we're going to play this dance for a little while. Meanwhile, I'm assuming, oh no, he came from the south. So the Blade Master and Grunts are still causing some problems. I think he isn't playing a dangerous game here though. I missed a surround there for sure. I missed a surround in exchange for losing a ghoul. I guess I only lost one ghoul. It could have been worse. I've taken a lot of damage on my Dreadlord, so I have to be a little careful. Luckily, with Vampiric Aura, I have some health regen. That's something. And with my Rod of Necromancy and my ghouls coming, I'm able to keep up a pretty sizable force, at least in these little skirmishes, because I feel like he's going to cap at 3 grunts, right? He's probably not getting a 4th grunt, and he's probably not bringing it here. Huge creepjack for me. He should not have gone for this. He made the exact same mistake I made like 30 seconds ago. And because he made that mistake, I'm now able to creep this out. I use my dust and see that he's not here. So I got greedy. Didn't work out for me. He gets the kill. I get a sleep surround on the Blade Master in exchange, though, and I think I'm going to have to be able to force a teleport. Yeah. So he's put a lot of damage on my Dreadlord. He stole my strongest creep at the item camp there, which is unfortunate, even though I used dust, so it's extra unfortunate. But at the same time, I forced a teleport. I've survived. I am nearing level 3. He canceled my fast expansion, or he was on top of my fast expansion quickly enough that I was able to cancel it in tech with some pretty good timings. So I immediately am hitting tier 2, or I've already hit tier 2 and thrown down a Temple of the Damned, a Slaughterhouse, and I'm getting a Death Knight. You can see I've supply blocked myself. My wood is very tight, so I'm struggling a little bit there. But I'm also building 2 cigarettes just to ensure I can get to my 50 of 50 food. I think my next expense is going to be a tech as soon as I get enough wood. And then from there, I'm going to move into a strong push of ghouls, necromancers, and statues. That's what's happening. So I've posted various games of me playing necromancer strategies. I think I've done a lot of different kind of build orders, a lot of different kind of timing windows, because I like to go necromancers off of a fast expansion. And then I'm pushing with like a strong 80 of 80 army once I'm able to get there. I sometimes like to go for a 50 of 50 ghoul necromancer push where I just stay tier 2. Like I pump out as many ghouls as possible, hit tier 2, build a Temple of the Damned, and just move out like that. But this game I decided, because of the way things were playing out, because my army is so small right now and I was so busy dealing with grunts and a Blade Master, that there's no way I'm going to be able to hit him at 50 of 50 on tier 2 with a sufficient army to knock him over. So I'm playing it a little more cautiously. That's why I got the statues. That's why I'm still on my Halls of the Dead. And I should have gone tier 3 by now. Either way, Blade Master comes in to harass. I'm going to pause it quickly. Let's see what else is going on for him. He's got Shadow Hunter, Grunt, Spirit Walker, Raider. Just exactly what I said. He's going tier 3. That's another thing about Iron King Kong. He does go tier 3 quite a bit, which I think might be a mistake, especially when you're trying to play such a standard strategy. Either way, though, he's going tier 3. He's got a standard base layout. He's at 41 of 50, or no, he's not, but he's at something of 50, 40 of 50. Harassing and creeping, which is exactly what any good orc player wants to be doing right now. But he can't do a whole lot of damage here. I only have 3 ghouls, so he might get a pick or 2. He can't do anything to my base. I've got a nice wall off still. My necromancers are behind the wall, so the Blade Master can't get to my necromancers. And I finally started my tech. So this is a delayed push, but I'm going to be able to hit him with Ghoul Frenzy this way. I'm going to be able to have upgraded necromancers, so I'll have more mana regeneration. I'll have stronger skeletons. I'll have skeletal mastery. So there are some trade-offs. My push is definitely slower. This is annoying. I'm going to lose another ghoul. Blade Master's just following me around, being a pain like Blade Masters are. But I think the key is that I'm remaining calm. Right? It doesn't matter. I just have 2 ghouls, 2 heroes, and a statue here. I'm creeping out an easy camp. I'm leaving myself vulnerable, but at the same time, you know what? If I lose another ghoul, it's not the end of the world, right? If the Blade Master is here sleeping, it's not the end of the world. I am able to finish off my creep camp. I'm able to resurrect more skeletons, and even though he knows where I am, he's not really disrupting much. Meanwhile, his army's way down here creeping. Again, like any good Orc player is going to be doing, trying to get that level 3 Torn Chieftain or Shadow Hunter up. I like this play a lot, though. I'm just keeping him asleep, not letting him move. It taxes my mana quite a bit, but it also allowed for me to creep this gold mine without any harassment. If I didn't have him asleep right now, this Blade Master would have caused so much damage. He would have taken every creep here. He could have killed both my ghouls very easily. I think I definitely came out on top for being able to sleep him there, and just instead of trying to surround him or instead of just running away, I was able to creep out a couple camps and not like I think he's still ahead of me in terms of experience gained because his Shadow Hunter is just being allowed to reign to run completely free. I'm at least gaining something. I'm not being pinned down by the Blade Master. So yeah, there's level 3 on the Shadow Hunter. He has hit tier 3. He's got his war drums. I'm sorry, but it's still going pretty well for me. I'm pretty happy with the way things have panned out. Looks like I'm gearing up to expand again. I think that might be a little bit of a mistake. It's not the time to expand. Definitely not before hitting tier 3. And I want to talk about this too because I make this mistake all the damn time. I hit tier 3. I'm building Ghoul Frenzy. Wait until you get the Ghoul Frenzy. Like, my push here is so contingent on my tech. And the number of games I've lost, especially recently, because I'm like, okay, Ghoul Frenzy's almost here, I'm going to move out. And then I move out, and by the time I get here, I encounter the other army, and they promptly destroy my army. They promptly crush all my ghouls, and then Ghoul Frenzy finishes. And I lose the game because I was too impatient to wait this extra 30 seconds. So I think what I should be doing right now is waiting. Like, what difference is it? I lose the game if I get fought without the Ghoul Frenzy. Just wait for the Ghoul Frenzy. Either way, though, I'm at my 50 of 50. I've built another Zig so I can pop over to low upkeep. I'm going to do that right now and pick up a third hero just because I want the extra units on the battlefield, and I know that as soon as the fight starts, I'm quickly going to plummet in supply. So it's not like I'm going to be in low upkeep for very long. Anyway, here I go. I've got 4 necromancers, 0 upgrades on them. I should definitely have. There's the first upgrade. Just for the mana regen. Increased mana pool and increased mana regeneration is so worth it. My statues are here to help supplement those necromancers. And I'm going to go for the push. I think a good early target is a Voodoo Lounge always. Another good target would be a Spirit Lodge, just because that would cancel Spirit Walker income, or cancel production of Spirit Walkers. I'm sorry, guys. It's early this morning. And when you cancel production of Spirit Walkers, you cancel their ability to dispel your skeletons. So that's another good high priority target. Either way, though, he was right on top of it. He was creeping somewhere around here, I guess. Yeah, he still hasn't even crept his item shop. He's taken the far creeps first, which is a great strategy. But now the fight begins, and let's look at the numbers. So I'm at 55 of 60 with a level 3.5 Dreadlord, level 1.5 Death Knight, and a level 1 Tinker. So I do not have a lot going in terms of my heroes. He has a level 3 Shadow Hunter. Where's the Blade Master? Where's the Blade Master? And a level 3 Blade Master, so he's definitely got the hero advantage. I have 55 of 60, he's at 50 of 50, so I have a slight army advantage. And in terms of tech, we're both tier 3. I feel like we're on pretty even ground here. So let's engage. I got the Tinker, by the way, because again, extra flooding, more units on the battlefield, it'll get in the way of all of his melee units, and goblins or mech goblins or whatever these are, clockwork goblins, cannot be dispelled. So they are immune to the hard counter to the necromancers, right? Spirit Walkers hard counter necromancers, but Spirit Walkers can't do anything to the Tinker of the Factory. So that's kind of the thought process there as well. He goes straight for my Death Knight, who's taking some heavy damage, but I'm going to be able to run him away. And I think the key thing here is just letting your necromancers run amok. Defensive micro. I don't need to go sleep surrounds. I don't need to make sure any unit dies. I just need to make sure my heroes stay alive. I need to make sure my necromancers stay alive. And that's what I'm doing. So he's forced my Death Knight back. Good sleep to buy me a little bit more time. And now I'm still trading blows. I'm losing a lot of units, but he's taking some damage. Sleep is starting to get under his skin, I think. He's starting to focus my necromancers, so the first one is taking some damage, but it's not enough just yet. And you can see he's starting to panic. He's running north. He doesn't know what to do. Right into my Death Knight, who ultimately is going to be dying at some point. That's just a me thing to do. But look, my necromancers are starting to get out of control here. The bodies are piling up. The skeletons are piling up. It's early. Again, I'm sorry. But it's really looking difficult for Iron King Kong to come back from this one at this point. He only has one Spirit Walker left with only 120 mana, so very little dispel on that one. Let's see, he's producing one, so this one will also be able to dispel. But my bodies are still numerous. I'm still pumping out ghouls. I'm definitely not intending to get a gargoyle. I should also build some necromancers and statues to rally down here, just to keep reinforcements coming as quickly as possible. But even though I haven't done that, the necromancers themselves are proving to be way too much for this orc player to deal with. Some sloppy micro here, losing some units I don't need to. The Blade Master was getting under my skin, so that's, I'm sure, why I had my army split up. I was trying to figure out one thing and lost my micro control on the other. But ultimately, he's now regrouped. He's still looking pretty strong. Let's look. I'm at 53 of 60 now to his 39 of 50. So he's lost 10 food where I've only lost 2. Obviously, this is taking into account production and everything. All of his army is out, though. So, like, his 39 of 50 is right here. Whereas my 53 of 60, there's 2. So 51 of 60, there's 3. 48 of 60. This is in transition, so 46 of 60. So effectively our armies that are around 46 versus 39 right now. And that's still ultimately, obviously, in my favor, especially when I have the Necromancer advantage, the Necromancer numbers, the Necromancer production, whatever you want to call it. Also, a good hard counter to, well, hard counter might be a bit strong, but Skeletal Mastery deals with Wyvern really effectively. People often think they can go for Wyvern against Necromancers, but you just can't do it unless you catch them completely off guard or they're not tier 3. The Skeletal Mages are just really, really powerful. Obviously, don't get me wrong, you can also go Mass Wyvern and catch the Necromancer player off guard and fly in with 12 Wyvern, and then all of a sudden your Necromancers don't stand a chance. But you know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. So now I'm just leaning on him. I'm just waiting. I'm letting my units deal damage where possible. He is getting a little frustrated with the sleep, you can see, because his micro is slipping. He was pretty on top of keeping his units alive, and it's getting a little bit sloppier as the game progresses. Let's not even talk about my level of sloppiness. This has not been the cleanest game for me, but it's still working out. My Death Knight's back. I've got the Blade Master pins now. He has no mana, so I know that if I can just keep him around here, keep tabs on him, he can't do anything to me. There's nothing this Blade Master can do anymore. Even though he's level 4, he's got Critical Strike. He's got some reasonable items in the boots, the circlet, and the orb. It doesn't matter. He's pinned back, there's nothing he can do, and my Necromancers have won yet another game against the second highest ranked player in Azeroth, who has a really good record and plays exclusively Blade Master, Shadow Hunter, Grunt Raider, Spirit Walker. Maybe he plays some Tauren Chieftain sometimes. But again, like, obviously I am not the highest skilled player out there, but obviously I am also playing against some of the higher skilled people in the ladder I play on, and some of the higher skilled people, at least I'm playing against people of comparable skill level to me, and Necromancers are working out really well yet again. So I feel like there's something to this. I would love to see some players better than myself experimenting with necromancers in this way, because I think a lot of wins can still come from nothing. I'm going to let it play out, but the game is obviously over at this point. He's trying to get his Blade Master back. I'm absolutely certain he hasn't expanded just based on the amount of harassment I've had to deal with, based on the fact that he's tier 3, based on the fact that his Shadowhunter has clearly been creeping elsewhere. I'm just not worried about it. This feels like the end of the game to me, and it seems to be going pretty well. Nice sleeps around. Look at that. Once the fight is over and I'm not at all worried about anything else, then I can go for my sleeps rounds. I think one of the main ways you lose with this kind of strategy is if you immediately go for it and let your ghouls all fall out of position and let your necromancers become a little more vulnerable. I think it's more important to just form a solid line with your ghouls, let them trade blows. Hopefully with your early ghoul frenzy, they'll be able to trade relatively effectively with whatever units they're against. And when they die, the necromancers are safely behind them, and the bodies are just lined up so that they can easily be resurrected. When you try and go for a surround and it's kind of out of position, or you have to do something kind of clunky, then all of a sudden your ghouls are going to be out of range of your necromancers. If you want to bring your necromancers into range, then you're committing them into an enemy base. It's just a little bit of a sticky situation. Blade Master pops out here, starts attacking my necromancer, gets a big kill, but sleep is doing its job. I'm just going to continuously sleep him while I pick apart the rest of his base, kill all his peons. There's no way he can come back from this game. I know that, so I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling good. Blade Master kills another statue. He's probably going to kill this statue as well at some point. Blade Master's going to kill this ghoul. The damage output is just insane on this thing. But it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. His damage output does not, or is mitigated by my body output. Iron King Kong leaves the game. Spaceman Spiff comes home with a win. It's a very tight total score. Look at those units produced, though. That's what's going to make the difference. He killed a ton of units, but those skeletons are just too numerous. Heroes, ultimately, I had a higher hero level, so that fight went well for me. I guess that makes sense. And if we go into resources, I also mined a little bit more gold than him. This is probably because of his peons and burrows towards the end of the game. Either way, that's the end of it. Let me know what you guys think. It's another Necromancer game, which I hope nobody's getting sick of. I love going Necromancers. That's the kind of thing I'm going to do, and that's the kind of thing I'm going to keep posting. So let me know what you think. Again, questions, comments, criticisms are, of course, welcome. Either way, have a great rest of your day. Like or subscribe if you could.